You're watching The Social Life, a mindset, a lifestyle, and a mission to help purpose-driven entrepreneurs just like yourself unleash their something amazing and lead remarkable brands and lives. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I want to talk to you about something that all businesses really need, which is public relations. This is a great time to really set public relations up for your business. Now, the reason everyone needs a press release for their business is because things are going to happen in your business that people need to know about. There will be places that will be interested, depending on how you target your audience and how you write this press release, that will be interested in your business. So it is really critical to understand the basic steps, and today that's what we're going to talk about. PR is no easy task, you guys, okay? It is not something that you're gonna write up a press release and it's gonna get picked up right away. That is highly unlikely. You'll have a much better opportunity to be picked up with the tips I'm gonna give you today than you would if you just tried to write a press release and didn't have some of these basic tips. So at the start of this video, I'm going to start out with the basics of them. I have 7 tips for you today, and then we'll continue into the more advanced tips as we go along through the video, ending with my most advanced tip at the very end. So thank you guys so much for being here. Let's jump right into this. Your first tip on writing your first press release is really understanding that you're trying to write to journalists. Now, journalists get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these every week. And so in a day, they can get, I don't know, like maybe 30 to 50, depending on what news outlet they work for and what they talk about. So if you're talking about the beauty industry, there will be a lot of people who are getting inundated with things because people have all types of products and services that they do in the beauty industry. If you're talking about something like the nonprofit industry, maybe you won't have something nearly as many, but they still get quite a few queries. So that's really important that you want to make sure that you actually do know who you're writing to, and that's PR 101. So know who you're writing to. Make sure that you've done a little bit of research about the people, and I will talk about all of this in a later video, but for this first video, it's really all about this press release, because if you without a press release, you don't really have anything to send out. The first thing that goes into the press release are the 5 W's. The what, the why, the who, the when, and the where, okay? So those go into the original press release, basically starting out in your first paragraph with the what you're talking about, because people really need to know, and the why. When I was doing public relations, it really is really important to understand what you're writing about and why it's important to this journalist, or why they would even care. Why is this event something that they need to know about, and why is it something that their audience needs to know about, more importantly? When you write your press release, you want to front load it like you would any other article that you might read in a newspaper. So when you're reading an article, journalists are very focused on front loading the article so that you get all the information that you need in the very beginning, and then they'll flesh out the details as they continue on throughout the article. I love this style of writing because if you don't have a lot of time, you're able to really just pick up that article, read it really quickly, understand the gist of what's going on within generally that first paragraph. So when you're writing your press release, you want to make sure that you're doing the same thing. You want to write that big chunk, your first paragraph, with most or all of your information in it, and then you can start fleshing it out. So if you're talking about your event, you want to talk about what the event is, why it's important, and basically why their audience needs to know about it. So maybe there's a date and time and all those things. You want to make sure that you include how much the tickets cost, not necessarily in that first paragraph, but you want to make sure all that information ends up in there. And you want to keep this to at least 1 page or less. Focus on catching their attention. So you want to say something in your headline that is going to be really exciting. Like, what makes it newsworthy? Why did you even think that this was going to be newsworthy in the first place? You have to step outside of your organization to say, okay, if I were a journalist and I were writing about this, what would catch my attention? What's going to make me open this email? Because you have to make sure that they're even interested. So first you have to focus on your actual press release headline, and then second, and really super important, is to focus on your email subject line. And a lot of them don't even get opened because the email subject line really isn't that great. So what is it that you could say in your email subject line without misleading them that would make them want to open it? you should know what this person already writes about, and you should already know what their interests are. And maybe an article that they share, a few articles that they share on Twitter. You can really do a lot of research to figure out who these people are, what they like, what they're into, and then focus your email subject line and your pitch. So I would run it by a few people, like if you have friends or if you have a friend who is a journalist at all or in any media, I would send that to them, say, hey, how does this email subject line look to you? Or how does this headline look to you? And I know it sounds like I'm really putting a lot of emphasis on something that usually isn't that important, but when you are fighting for eyeballs and it's just one person or a couple of people that you're sending this out to, and you've spent a lot of time on your press release, you do want people to open it. And the only way people are going to open it is if you actually have something enticing or something catchy that's going to catch their attention. So just keep that in mind. Is to use your boilerplate to add all of your information in there. You need to make sure that they have a way to contact you when they are ready to use your story. You want to make sure that you have your email, your name, your full name, however you use it, the name of your business, how it's fully spelled, how it's correctly spelled, who you are, what you do, a little bit about your business, like the background, maybe the mission, your focus, your purpose, whatever it is. You need to have that in your boilerplate. And then also you want to make sure that you have your phone number, any contact, any way they can contact you. You want to make sure that you have that in your boilerplate. But generally they'll want a direct line to you, so like an email or a phone number, the name of your business phone number, things like that. So anything that they can use to really go and write the story they'll want, and if they need extra information from you, they will get that from the boilerplate. And the boilerplate is just the very bottom of your press release, and it just basically it's just an area for contact information for you with all of the information about your business too. So for my fifth tip, it's to use quotes. Ask people in your business something about your news release, or get someone like your executive director or get a board member, whatever will help shape your story and shape what you're trying to get across. Make sure you put that in your press release, because it makes the job easier for the journalist. You want to make the job for the journalist as easy as possible. Sometimes they're on deadline and your story might be the one that was the easiest to write, and they might write that story because you had all the quotes and everything in there with the correct titles and all of that, and it stopped the amount of work that they had to go do. Or they might verify it from you via email or via a call, but they don't have to go out and find the people themselves to go out and create your message. So remember that when you're writing a press release, it really is all about creating the message that you want to create and the story that you want to create around your brand or your business. And it's something that if you can get this out right and you have quotes there from certain people, they can go verify that quote, or they know how to contact that person, or they can contact you and verify the quote. There's lots of ways that they do it. I'm not a journalist, so I can't speak on everything, but I do remember working with journalists, and it was very much appreciated when they did have the full quote from someone in your business or in your organization, and they didn't have to go find, because it really just helps their job. So number 6 is spelling and grammar. You want to make sure that you really focus on your spelling and grammar and how you're writing this press release, because remember that you're still doing business writing. This is not where you want to use colloquial terms, slang terms. You don't want to be flowery in your language or like use too many different words to explain things. Remember I said to be brief and short at the very beginning in tip number 1. Just add the pertinent information that they need, nothing more, nothing less than that. And make sure that you are, remember, writing like you're writing to a business. So like you're writing an email or something. You wouldn't be using ellipses. You don't need to use exclamation points or anything that emphasizes any sort of emotion. You need to just make sure that you're using pure business writing. I am a sucker for exclamation points. I love them. I use them in all of my emails, all my texts, all of those types of things, anything that is very friendly. But when you are sending out to journalists, you do not want to use that type of punctuation, okay? So make sure that you check your spelling, check your grammar, and then Make sure that you're not using any sort of punctuations and that you're also not using any sort of emojis or anything like that. These people are very serious. They have a job to do, and they will not take you seriously if you are writing that way. My last tip, and my favorite tip, is learn how to newsjack. Now, this is something that if you can do this, you're very, very good at doing public relations. So what this is basically is understanding what's going on in the nation, whatever industry you're trying to be part of and get public relations in. Know what's going on in the news related to that, and try to use some of those statistics or quotes or anything that will help set up why you are relevant at this time. Make sure you use what source that came from, but use those to actually set up your story and why it's so important. So those are my basic tips on how to write a press release for your business. And the best thing you can do is really research the person that you're looking to actually contact and send this to, and really get an idea of what they like and what they're looking for, what they write about, what their interests are. So I'll have another video for you guys next week on what to do before you send out that press release. That wraps it up for today. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope that helped you, and I will see you guys on the next one. See you next week. Get out there and unleash your something amazing. Bye, guys.